Our journey into the enigmatic begins in the early 19th century with a man named Thomas J. Beale in Virginia. Known for his adventurous spirit and enigmatic persona, Beale would become the progenitor of one of the most tantalizing mysteries of our time, the Beale Ciphers. It's a story that intertwines treasure, cryptography, and a lingering question mark. Legend has it that Beale discovered a treasure, a bounty so vast that it was worth millions in today's currency. But instead of basking in his newfound wealth, Beale did something unexpected. He buried his treasure somewhere in Virginia and left behind a set of 3 ciphers. These ciphers, now famously known as the Beale ciphers, were not just ordinary codes, they were intricate, complex, and far from easy to decipher. Each cipher was a different piece of the puzzle, a clue leading to the treasure's ultimate location. They were Beale's own version of a treasure map, except this map was encrypted beyond comprehension. To this day, only one of these ciphers has been cracked. The second cipher, when decoded, revealed a text detailing the treasure's contents: gold, silver, and jewels worth millions. Yet the first and third ciphers continue to resist all decryption attempts. They hold the key to the exact location and the reason behind the treasure's existence, but their code remains unbroken. Despite numerous attempts by professional and amateur cryptologists, the Beale ciphers remain a tantalizing enigma. The treasure, if it exists, is still out there, hidden beneath Virginia's soil, waiting for its ciphered veil to be lifted. And so the Beale ciphers continue to baffle treasure hunters and cryptologists alike, with the promise of a fortune still buried somewhere in Virginia. From buried treasure, we move to a missing person case that has captivated Italy for decades: the disappearance of Ylenia Carrisi. Ylenia Carrisi was not just any young woman. Born to Italian singing sensations Albano Carrisi and Romina Power, she was destined for the limelight from the beginning. However, Ylenia was not interested in a singing career like her parents. Instead, she had a passion for travel and exploration, and a particular love for photography. In the winter of 1994, Ylenia set off on a journey that would take her to the vibrant city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Known for its lively music scene and rich cultural history, it was the perfect place for a budding photographer to draw inspiration. But then, in January of that year, Ylenia mysteriously vanished. Her last known location was a hostel in the French Quarter, a place teeming with life and activity. Yet, no one saw or heard anything unusual. One day, Ylenia was there, and the next, she was gone. In the wake of her disappearance, authorities on both sides of the Atlantic launched exhaustive investigations. Italian detectives worked tirelessly, liaising with their American counterparts in an attempt to piece together Ylenia's last known movements. Yet all their efforts seemed to hit dead ends. There were no leads, no clues, nothing to suggest what might have happened to the young traveler. Over the years, various theories have been put forth, from kidnapping to voluntary disappearance. Some even suggested Ylenia may have drowned in the Mississippi River. However, without any concrete evidence, these remain mere speculations. Despite the passage of time, the mystery of Ylenia's disappearance continues to baffle investigators. Her family, though heartbroken, has never given up hope of finding answers. The question that has haunted them, and indeed the whole of Italy, for over 3 decades still lingers in the air: what happened to Ylenia Carrisi? Our next mystery takes us to the city of Strasbourg in 1518, a city gripped by a bizarre, unexplained phenomenon. It was an ordinary summer in the heart of Europe, but not for the citizens of Strasbourg, France. The city was about to witness an event so peculiar that it would be etched into the annals of history forever. This was the dancing plague of Strasbourg, a phenomenon as mysterious as it was terrifying. In the midst of July, a woman named Frau Trophea started dancing in the streets. There was no music, no apparent reason, yet she danced. She danced for hours, then days. Her feet were bruised and bleeding, but she seemed unable to stop. And then, something even more bizarre happened. Others started to join her. By the end of the month, around 400 people were caught in this strange and uncontrolled dance. They danced until they dropped from exhaustion. Some even danced until their lives ebbed away. It was a macabre spectacle that lasted through the scorching summer and into the chill of autumn. Historians and scientists have put forth various theories to explain this inexplicable event. Some suggest it was a case of mass hysteria, a collective stress response to the harsh living conditions of the time. Others propose a more sinister cause: ergotism, a form of poisoning caused by eating rye bread infected with a certain fungus. The symptoms of ergotism can include hallucinations and convulsions, which could possibly explain the uncontrollable dancing. However, none of these theories can be definitively proven, and the true cause of the dancing plague remains shrouded in mystery. This strange chapter in history serves as a reminder of the many mysteries that our world holds, some of which are hidden in plain sight, in the rhythm of our own steps, in the dance of life and death. The Dancing Plague of Strasbourg, a peculiar episode of history that continues to puzzle and perplex. We now travel to Tokyo, Japan, site of one of the country's most notorious unsolved murder cases, the Miyazawa family murders. In the quiet residential district of Setagaya, the Miyazawa family, a family of 4, led a peaceful life. However, in December of 2000, this tranquility was shattered when the family was found brutally murdered in their home. Mikio, the father, Yasuko, the mother, and their 2 children, Nina and Rei, were all victims of this horrifying crime. The subsequent investigations launched by the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department were exhaustive, involving over 200,000 officers. Yet despite their efforts, the case remains unsolved more than 20 years later. The crime scene, preserved in the state it was found, serves as a chilling reminder of this cruel act. The perpetrator left behind some evidence: a sweatshirt, a knife, and even some food that they had consumed in the house. Despite these clues, the police have been unable to identify the murderer. Advances in forensic science have allowed for the creation of a partial profile of the suspect, but it has not led to an arrest. The lack of a clear motive adds another layer of mystery to this case. The Miyazawas were a well-liked family with no known enemies. The brutality of the murders suggests a personal motive, yet no links have been found between the family and any potential suspects. The case has gripped the nation and has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and speculation. The Miyazawa family murders have become a part of Japan's cultural consciousness, a symbol of the dark side of society lurking beneath the surface. Theories abound, but with each passing year, the hope of finding the murderer dwindles. The case remains one of Japan's most perplexing unsolved crimes, a chilling testament to the fact that even in one of the safest countries in the world, evil can strike at any moment. The Miyazawa family murders, a chilling case that remains unresolved, continues to haunt Japan. Our final mystery brings us to County Sligo, Ireland, where a man known as Peter Bergmann checked into a hotel and embarked on a series of strange activities. In the summer of 2009, this enigmatic man arrived in Sligo using the name Peter Bergmann. He was an ordinary guest, or so it seemed, but soon, his peculiar behavior began to draw attention. Every day he left the hotel with a purple plastic bag full of unknown items. He would return hours later, always without the bag. It was as if he was slowly disposing of his belongings piece by piece. Despite being seen by numerous people, no one could recall any specifics about him. He was a man of few words, keeping to himself, blending into the crowd. He was, in essence, a ghost among the living. Then, the unthinkable happened. Just a few days after he checked in, Peter Bergmann's lifeless body was discovered on a local beach. No signs of foul play, no immediate cause of death. It was as if he simply ceased to exist. Authorities sprang into action, reaching out to Interpol and launching an international effort to identify him. Yet, their efforts were met with dead ends. The name Peter Bergmann was a fabrication, a smokescreen hiding the true identity of this mysterious man. The items he had been seen with, the ones he had painstakingly disposed of, were never found. His meticulous efforts to erase his existence had been disturbingly effective. His true identity, his past, his story, all remained shrouded in mystery. Despite exhaustive investigations and years of public appeals, the man known as Peter Bergmann remains unidentified. His past, his motives, and the circumstances of his death are still a mystery, leaving us with an enigma that continues to baffle investigators to this day. The Peter Bergmann case, a mystery wrapped in an enigma, leaves us with more questions than answers. As we conclude, remember that the world is full of unsolved mysteries, each with its own story to tell.